learning about leadership by learning about yourself.
People drive institutions. People and relationships move progress.
Looking at it like I'm running it to win. I have to take ownership. I really have to take ownership. I have to take ownership.
We struggle with trust, and there's a lot that we can do to help build that. We just need somebody to come in and help facilitate our process.
Organizations don't really support their younger, next generation leaders in their organizations. I'm a mother, and my kids are, they're 20 and 24 now, but certainly seeing them emerge and come into their own and establish their own identities and dreams and their own leadership made me really aware that there's just this critical need for supporting emerging leaders.
I didn't know what to expect from the program. My boss thought that I was getting training on real technical things like become better at using funds strategically and, more like management style training. I certainly did not know it would be so personal, and I really value that.
My husband at first, he was supportive, but kind of thought, when he said you were going to leadership training, I thought that same thing, oh, what, now you want to be president? Like that kind of response.
I expected someone telling me what a leader should be, how you become a leader, but I really wasn't expecting to tap into me personally and to look at myself from the inside out instead of from the outside in.
Our definition of leadership, which is very different than management.
Being yourself, identifying what it is in you and using your natural gifts and abilities and honing those in a way that can inspire others and really bring people together.
It's not the most outspoken person who always has the right way of doing that.
Barbara allows you to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses without her giving them to you. I don't believe that all of her classes are the same. She really tries to research the people that she's addressing and some of their issues.
We had to start out with a purpose and vision for ourselves. And that really hit home to me. I guess for a long time I thought that had to be something static and specific.
The biggest barrier for me has really been managing the balance between work, rest, and play. I don't have to live my life chaotically,
I've realized how easy it is for me to get stuck in a certain way of thinking or carrying a certain assumption, and then all of a sudden through these activities and through conversation, through peer learning, through sharing, these light bulbs just start to spark.
If I don't tell you I'm hungry, then how do you know that I need to be fed? You know what I'm saying? So if I don't tell my job what I need, how can they give me what I need?
What I learned is that a lot of people had a lot of confidence in me, and I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. So developing that confidence just through awareness and using different tools, I think that's been the most meaningful to me.
It's kind of almost like summer camp. When you go to summer camp and your actual living conditions are kind of meager, but the relationships that you developed with other people and yourself are much more heightened than if you went to a 5-star hotel.
Within this period, we've all experienced some issues in our families and deaths and disappointments, and so we actually had, through those opportunities, the ability to coach each other through the process. So
it's a challenge for organizations, boards of directors, executive directors to recognize that they need to build the leadership in their organization. And quite frankly, my response to them is to ask them what it took for them to step up to the plate, what it took for them to take a risk to start their organization or to take a job they weren't quite all the way prepared for, and what they had to know about themselves to be able to do that. And when I ask that question, people have answers to that question. And that's when I say, that's why leadership is important. That's why you need to give your staff that opportunity to learn that about themselves and to discover that about themselves and to step up to the plate themselves.
When I first got here, I realized that when I always spoke, I always talked about my cooking and my passion for my cooking. And I'm learning how to display that same passion in forestry. It's not that I don't love it. It's not that I don't have a desire for it. It's that I'm not as connected.
Scholarships are so critical because they broaden the experience and make it so much richer for the rest of the participants. If we all looked the same and sounded the same because we all had the money to pay for the program, in fact, we would become less effective leaders because we wouldn't have that broader base of understanding and sharing and seeing the commonalities and differences across a broad range of people.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the guy who decide where to go. You look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't